Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Cancer energy. The bottom row is going to be a little more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy. We all have our dualistic nature. We have our more fearful, insecure, codependent, immature, etc. nature. And we also have our more hopeful, believing, loving nature. We're going to do a top row and a bottom row between the two, and it could be a reflection of things that we're battling with right now in Cancer energy. Do we have hope and faith and belief in ourselves? Do we love ourselves? Do we believe in love? And some people are debating within themselves, and some people have won the battle within themselves, and they've decided, I'm going to move forward in life differently. I'm not going to stay in my shadow nature. I'm going to take action to manifest what I want to manifest into reality, and it might mean I'm going to live my life differently. And when we do that, the bottom row can kind of represent other people in our life maybe that aren't moving forward with us at this time, because we all have to kind of be on the same page at the same time. And sometimes when we're ready to move forward in life differently, some other people in our life aren't ready to move forward in life differently. The truth sets you free. You have to heal, you have to grow, you have to mature, you have to look at life differently. Something has to change for us to move forward in life differently. And some people don't want to do love. They could harness their Cancer energy in a more worldly, shadowy way. Maybe they love the world. Maybe their life is more about ego and image and indulgence, or money and materialism. Maybe it's more about them. You know, some people don't want to do love because they can get hurt doing love. And some people would prefer not to go there, even take the risk. I will live from my more defensive nature. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about other people in your life and where they're at in the story and how they harness their Cancer energy. The reason for the top row's reading is the Page of Cups, which is also the reason why the reading came out. You know, we've all got growing up to do. The pages can represent maybe when we were more in codependent energy, like when we were children, we looked outside of ourselves for people to love us and provide stability and security for us and fill our cup, and just more codependent, looking outside of ourselves versus having learned to look inside of ourselves and offer ourselves love, and learning to connect in with ourselves and like being our best mother, father, coach voice to ourselves. And you could have went through many cycles of life, learning lessons, and at the end of that cycle, you did learn to listen to your intuition, and you realized, I need to stop being defensive to love. Two of Cups, Cancer energy. And I need to learn to stand up for my loving nature and be inspired to love myself. And so then, you know, you go to the next phase of life, closing out an old cycle of life. The tens can talk about the completion of a cycle. I've learned lessons that I was meant to learn from that phase of life. I am ready to kind of face my fears to go to the next stage of life. And you could have offered love. The Page of Cups can be making a small gesture to people. Do you want to move forward with me in this new way? And if people in your life are like, nope, I'm hiding, I haven't maybe learned the lessons I've needed to learn at this cycle of life, and I'm not willing to maybe stand up for myself and defend my more loving nature, and they might be in more codependent energy. So let's go look at the bottom row. We have the World card, the Four of Cups, the Three of Swords, and a card not showing itself is the Hermit. The truth sets us free to go to the next phase of life, and it's our Virgo Hermit energy that gets us the truth. So we could all get in relationships. The World card can talk about a cycle ended. We could have been hiding, that we felt backstabbed, we felt defensive, because a relationship that we had wanted to defend didn't work out the way we wanted. The World card talks about a cycle ending. And then in the Four of Cups, in Cancer energy, can talk about how we're sad and the Three of Swords that we feel heartbroken. Well, we can stay in that energy for quite a long time, because we could feel sad and heartbroken that a relationship that we wanted to be in didn't work out. And we can have people we get in new relationships with and friendships because we can all be in that energy. The difference is how people harness their Virgo hermit energy. Some people reject doing the inner work to deal with the truth of it. Why did that relationship end? How did I contribute to that not working out? What was it about the other person and how they are that contributed to that relationship not working out? Were we on the same page? Were we not on the same page? Or we can choose not to look at it. Some people, shadowy energy is wanting to stay in denial of the truth. I don't want to see the truth. Some people right now are in shadowy energy. Cycles close on them. People aren't investing in them anymore and they're heartbroken. But they could hide that they kind of sabotage in the Ten of Swords, like kind of backstab and betray and sabotage a relationship because they are defensive to love. And they could repeat that pattern over and over. They could get in relationships with people. People offer them love to try to heal a relationship, to get balanced. It's like a new opportunity to get justice, because the Three of Swords is Libra energy, about the scales of justice. We get many opportunities to work together with people to try to help us. If we're willing to deal with the truth, it's like a recalibrate and get a new start. But some people refuse to deal with the truth. If they are someone who is very defensive to love and being hurt, in their Cancer energy, they might like to emotionally manipulate people. And they might like to live more from their mind than their heart. I don't think I have to do love. I just have to create the illusion I'm loving so that people will get in a relationship with me. And I think I can mentally strategize how to make them think I'm a loving person and keep staying in a relationship with me. The only problem is if the people, again, we can get in relationships and we're kind of on the same page where we had a relationship and we're sad, we're heartbroken, we get in a friendship or a romantic relationship with someone. But if one person's still up here in the high vibe, we have the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups. I still believe in love. And so I offer people love. And that can be offering the cup of love to someone who kind of does use their emotions more manipulatively. And we're kind of in a mismatched relationship. We can both be at a certain phase of life, but one person still has hope and faith and belief in love, but the other person doesn't. And sometimes we don't realize that one person is hiding, I am much more defensive to love than you realize. And I maybe have backstab people in my life before when it started to cause me this inner conflict and maybe got me way up in my head and got me really defensive because I was kind of entering the danger zone. I was starting to feel like I was really starting to emotionally invest in someone, and that is like the danger zone. That's like the devil to me. I'm getting in the danger zone where I could be hurt. And so then they could sabotage the relationship because they're so afraid of being hurt that if everybody doesn't stay in hurt energy and people start to maybe do this inner work within themselves, because when a card isn't showing itself, it talks about that we all can be in this energy, but one person could reject going within to deal with some of their issues that manipulate them, but another person does do that inner work to deal with things that manipulate them. They start to listen to their intuition about the past pain and heartbreak, why relationships in their past didn't work out. And then the 8 of Wands or the 9 of Wands in Sagittarius energy is about higher learning and education. I don't want to stay in feeling rejected and heartbroken. I am inspired to get back to a place of love and having hope and faith and belief in love. But again, we can get in relationships with people, they don't do that. And so we can kind of be on the same page initially. One person thinks we're all going to do this work to work through issues of the past, to free ourselves from it, so we can still move forward hopeful and believing in love. But the other person still doesn't have hope and faith and belief in love and still is defensive to love. And we can be in relationships with people for quite a long time and not realize that maybe they never want to deal with the truth. They don't want to see how they contributed to relationships not working out. They don't want to see the truth about different people in their life. They just stay in shadowy energy. I'm sad. I'm mad. I feel betrayed. I feel rejected. Well, is that true? What kind of people were we in relationship with? Were we in relationship with people who weren't very nice, bossy or controlling or immature or prideful or egotistical, or they were defensive to love? Well, should we take that personally? And high vibe energy is seeing the truth. I have lessons learned in life that make me not be so open and giving and receiving love. I've been in relationships with some people that they had some lessons to learn. They could be defensive. They live more from their mind than their heart. Do I want to stay in shadowy type energy of like sadness and heartbreak when I was just dealing with fallible human beings who had some lessons to learn about how to play nicely with others? It's like giving accountability to where accountability lies. Was that person, you're either being in high vibe, you're being truthful and honest and just and fair. We've all got lessons learned in that throughout our life. We've all been in relationships when we were younger and we were more immature and, we were caught up in these things of the world and maybe got in relationships we shouldn't have gotten into. And really we want to still be in a relationship with someone else, And some people are just defensive to being loving. Or they're not very connected in with their emotions or something, And we just assign accountability. This person was kind of manipulative. This kind of person was kind of bossy. This person was kind of defensive. This person and I was this. We see the truth. I can only take responsibility for my part, and then I have to see the truth about other people. But some people really have a problem seeing the truth about some people. It's always staying, rejected and not wanting to see the truth. I just keep staying heartbroken that those people rejected me. But it's like, or those people weren't just or fair or loving. Well, why can't we admit they're a fallible human being? Some people could have a hard time just because they do love those people and they can't admit to themselves that those people are a fallible human being, that, maybe weren't very authentically loving, that they could have been kind of manipulative or controlling or bossy. Well, some people did the work, some people didn't. The people who did do the work, they saw the truth. They did this inner work. Where did I need to grow and heal and mature myself? What kind of traits and characteristics did people have that I got in a relationship with? Well, I don't want to get in relationships with people who have those certain traits and qualities and characteristics anymore. I've learned my lesson. If someone's manipulative, rejects my love, does hurtful things, is defensive, next time I meet someone who's like that, I'm not going to date them or marry them. And I've also seen where I needed to heal and grow and mature and where I was defensive. And I listened to my intuition about the situation. I learned that I maybe needed to get out of more codependent energy. Instead of looking to other people to love me, I needed to see the truth that, like a king of cups to a page of cups, I have my own inner child nature. I do have my pain and my heartbreak and my self-limiting beliefs. I need to learn to love me. Because if I keep looking outside of myself for other people, like that's their job, that's not my job, I'm not supposed to learn to love myself, I look to people outside of me to love me. Well, we could get in relationships with people who are hiding that they do use their intuition in a shadowy way. Oh, look, here's someone who doesn't seem to love and believe in themselves and is heartbroken. perfect. I'm going to get in a relationship with them. But then the shadowy Nine of Wands and shadowy Sagittarius can be someone who's like, I'm going to indulge in a relationship with you. I'm going to create the illusion I harness high vibe Cancer energy that I'm this loving family person. You should get in a relationship with me. But really, I'm just kind of more indulging myself in this relationship as long as you haven't learned to love yourself. And then you view me as loving and you defend this relationship. You stay in this relationship with me, even though in a more shadowy, worldly way, energy, it could be more about the other person. They have someone to indulge in a relationship with. They get to be in a new relationship. Maybe a relationship ended for them and they're sad. It's like, perfect. I'll get in a relationship with you. Even though the truth might be that I don't really love you. I'm wearing a false mask. But because you're codependent and you're kind of looking for someone to play that role in your life, like your mom or your dad or a caregiver, because you haven't learned to do that within yourself, I'll play that role in your life. But it is kind of me in shadow, the masculine energies. The masculine energies of the King of Cups, some people are authentically loving people and they take action from love. They can maybe not have learned how to really love themselves, but they can be loving and nurturing to other people authentically. They just could reject other people loving them in a way where, and so then they kind of get in these mismatched relationships. You're not very loving and authentic. I'm loving. I'll try to get you to be a loving person. But when I've maybe been in relationships with people who really treated me the way I treated them, I could have rejected those people because I really hadn't learned to love myself. So it's always trying to get other people who maybe aren't very loving to be loving. Like then that will solve my pain and heartbreak. And sometimes I think we're drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people who could remind us of people subconsciously that we have some of that pain and heartbreak from, because the shadowy energy is kind of being in our ego about it. And our ego is kind of like, I want to win. If I had people who acted distant or had an addiction or whatever, those people didn't love me the way I wanted them to. I felt backstabbed and betrayed, but I'm still kind of defending people like that. And because they hurt me, I really didn't overcome it to stand up for myself and love myself. So I'm going to repeat that pattern and get in a relationship with someone who kind of reminds me of that person. I'm going to try to get that person to become a loving person. This time, they're going to love me like my mom didn't or my dad didn't, or, you know, be more open or loving or just or fair more so than they were or something. And we kind of realize that the people that we get in relationship with do have some of those traits and qualities and characteristics, and we're trying to change someone. They are the way they are. They're defensive the way they are. They're prideful or manipulative or emotionally shallow and superficial or whatever, immature, whatever their issue is. But it's like we got in a relationship with someone who has those same type of traits and characteristics. But we're trying to get them to be a different type of person than they are. The only person we can change is us. And when some people go through these situations enough times, it's kind of like the light bulb moment. Like, oh my gosh, I do realize that I got in a relationship with someone who kind of reminds me of other people that I've had in my life. And I need to see the truth. I don't need people who have some shadowy traits or characteristics or are immature and impulsive. I don't need to try to change them to make them a less impulsive, immature person. Yes, I might have love for them, just like I could have love for some other people in my past. But I don't need them to change. They are who they are. They are the way they are. They view life the way they view it. I need to deal with the truth because the truth will set me free. I accept that they are the person they are at this moment in time and might be that way all their life. I need to deal with the truth and I need to love me. And I need to be a good parent to myself, my best parent coach voice to myself. I can sit and belittle and berate myself all day. I have the free will to do that. Or I can love myself and give myself the things I wish other people would have given me, so I can heal and release this and no longer get, like, put an end to getting in relationships with people who are defensive to love. I have seen the truth. If you are defensive to love, if you're manipulative, if you're self-centered, if you're egotistical, if you're bossy, you're controlling, you're lazy, you got addictions, whatever your thing is, that I already know I don't enjoy that type of relationship with people, then I'm going to see the truth of it, and I'm going to keep moving forward. You know, you stay in the friend zone, you're a social acquaintance that I know out in the world, and I'm not going to get in a more involved relationship with you. You stay, the Page of Cups can be like, you're someone I know, you're someone I visit with, you're one of the people I socialize with, but because I love me, and my hopeful, believing nature wants to be in relationships with other people who have hope and faith and belief and love, who do take action in truth and love, I'm not going to keep investing in people who haven't learned to be that type of person, still manipulated by things in their life that make them defensive or immature or a player or don't want to do love. I'm going to wish you peace and I'm going to move on. And I'm going to go, now that I've done this inner work within myself, to realize I need to stand up for my loving nature and learn to love myself, or I'm going to have a lot of people in the world who would love to be in a relationship with me because I haven't learned to love myself and I'm heartbroken. And I'm still trying to get people in the world to validate my worth and value or love me because I'm in more codependent energy. I am going to love me. And then when some people did that, with the Hierophant in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse, I'm letting go of people who I think harness this energy in a shadowy way. The Hierophant is Taurus energy, the Four of Wands is Aries energy, which can be people who are more, their philosophy of life is being more about themselves. And we can all be considered more about ourselves when we're in our defensive energy, because I've been hurt before. So we want to be in relationships, but we're kind of defensive to doing love, or we haven't learned to love ourselves. And so they're letting go of, or people who, what they could be inspired by and what they love, shadowy energy, can be more about the world. I don't really want to do love. That's not my truth. Secretly, I really am not inspired by love because I get hurt doing that. I want to make my life more about money and materialism, status and image, or me being indulged. And that's what some people decided at some point in their life. They got hurt being a loving person. They decided that makes me, they could think it makes them naive and gullible, and they kind of gave up on their dreams. And they decided, you know what, I'm not going to be one of those people who gets hurt in the world. I'm going to be someone who detaches from my more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And now I am going to be more about me. And it's going to be about me indulging myself in relationships. And I'm going to go look for those people that don't know the truth about people like me. And I'm going to be the one to try to play like I'm the loving person in their life. And it's going to be more about me. I'm going to be maybe stubborn and prideful and bossy and controlling. And it's more about me. And since you're kind of haven't learned lessons about people like me in the world, and you're kind of naive and gullible, and you still have that hopeful believing spirit, I'm going to present myself as loving to you. And if you haven't learned to listen to your intuition, then I'm going to take advantage of you, because that's what people do in the world. And I'm going to be one of the people who takes advantage of people. And we've all got lessons to learn in life, and to see the truth that there are people that are shadowy, gave up on love, gave up on their hopeful believing spirit, decided to live more, reject love and live more from their mind than their heart. I am going to be the people who just indulge myself in a relationship. And I'm going to go find those loving people in the world who don't know the truth about people like me. and I'm going to go get in a relationship with them. And then because they haven't learned to love and believe in themselves, and they view me and are under this illusion I'm this loving person because their intuition probably tried to tell them, but we're all kind of young and naive, and we're kind of think we're the boss, and oh no, God, I can make this person a loving person even though they're not. I can make them quit being bossy and controlling. I'm amazing, God. I know you've been working with them all their life, and this is how they are in the world. But give it to me, God. I can change these people. And God's like, okay, you give it your best shot, pumpkin. And it's good to have a hopeful. It's good to offer people love and encouragement. It's another thing to get in a relationship with them when they show you that's not the truth of who they are. But we've all got lessons to learn about listening to our intuition, which is the high priestess. How many of us got in relationships and our intuition was like, I don't know, I think we should stop this. I don't think we should move forward in this relationship. Something's kind of wrong here. I don't think this person's very loving. I think this person lives more from their mind than their heart. The high vibe people could harness high vibe, Aquarius, Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, and Virgo, and Pisces, and Gemini, and Sagittarius. But the people they could get in a relationship with could harness those same zodiac signs in a more worldly, shadowy way. They just wear a false mask of presenting themselves as loving. And if we are not listening to our intuition, which was given to us as a gift to help us navigate this world, because people can present themselves any way they want to. I'm stable, I'm grounded, I'm just, I'm fair, I'm emotionally mature, I'm loving. But that can, I don't remember if I finished my sentence, but the kings can represent how we present ourselves in the world, but the queens and the feminine figures can represent how we really think and feel. So everybody can present themselves in the world like, I'm this loving, nurturing person and a family person. You should get in a relationship with me. Some people, that is the truth of who they are because they've done this work within themselves to have good boundaries to their more shadowy nature, not to indulge in their more immature and prideful and bossy and controlling and self-centered and immature ways of being. And they authentically are loving. But other people emotionally still have all these unresolved issues that they haven't worked through. But the kings can represent that people are operating more from their egoic nature. I'm still in my ego about these issues in my life that I have chosen not to want to see the truth of. I think I can hide the fact that I do have these issues I haven't dealt with, and I'm not really aligned with my hopeful, believing, loving nature. I'm kind of might think, sex is love. And that's in their fire energy. They haven't learned that, they could like living their life like that and think that's living the dream life. But other people don't want to be in a relationship with people and it's just sex. They want to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships. And the other people are like, what? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. This is good. And so more worldly, shadowy energy can be a more emotionally shallow, superficial type relationship than authentically in truth and love, where people let their more vulnerable, authentic inner child nature out to play in the world. And some people are like, nope, I keep my loving nature double barricaded. They are not coming out. But I hide that from the world. And I just try to use my intuition about people, about who I think doesn't know the truth about people like me, who maybe haven't learned to listen to their intuition. If they did, they'd probably end the relationship and have good boundaries to stand up for themselves against me. And some people got in relationships with people like this because we all have lessons to learn. And it could have been to start making us listen to our intuition, or it could have been to make us be inspired to maybe more stand up for ourselves, or maybe before we didn't do that. But the people who did learn the lesson, and they dealt with some of their past pain and heartbreak, they learned to stand up for themselves and love themselves, and they did this inner work. I'm going to love me. I want to heal from that past pain and heartbreak so I can let it go, and then that wound will be healed, and I won't be drawn and attracted to people like that anymore because I don't have that wound. I don't need people to act certain ways in the world like, I got to get you to love me. No, I don't have to try anymore to try to get people like that to love me. I'm looking for the people in the world who've also done this work within themselves. And I let go of people that I could have been in relationship or a workplace or someone that I was in some type of family dynamic. If people, the Four of Wands can be about coming together with people in joy and celebration, but it has to do with our philosophy of life, of how we viewed life. And now people no longer view life the way they used to view it. The Hierophant can be like, at any given moment in our life, how we view life and how we view relationships and how we view ourselves, and when we have seen the truth, that is no longer our philosophy of life. We had a certain philosophy of life at age 15, but then when we got to be closer to maybe age 18, that wasn't the truth of who we were anymore. We were a different person, and we were going out in the world believing that we could conquer being more like an 18-year-old, and we let go of being more like a 15-year-old. But when we did that, even at age 18, there were some other people that kept saying like a 15-year-old because, they wanted to keep repeating that pattern because, we have some fears and insecurities about going to that, detaching from that old way of viewing life to face our fears and insecurities and offer our self-love to say, I think you can. You can learn how to drive. You can learn to go get a job. You can learn to move out and live on your own, And just like we went through that phase of life then, I think we go through these phases throughout our life. It's like shedding old layers of ourself, because shadowy worldly energy can be where things are kind of stagnant and dead. Like there's nothing new to learn there. Who would want to keep acting and living like a 15-year-old forever? Aren't we inspired to love ourselves and go to the next phase of life? A lot of people are, and a lot of people do, but some people can get to a certain phase in life where they're like, I'm done. I'm good. I'm going to stay here. And while they stay there, other people keep having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. They just let go of some of the people in their life periodically who they might not be on the same page with anymore. At one time they could have been. If everybody does this work within themselves, then people keep moving forward together in these friendships, these relationships, these workplaces. And there's some people that we let out of our life because their philosophy of life and how they view relationships, how they act in relationships, if they're more about themselves, haven't learned to do love. It's like, I'm done being in relationships with people who haven't learned how to do love. And I could have been a loving person, but I hadn't learned to love myself. I wouldn't let other people love me, say. Now people have learned to be more open. And why would people be defensive to letting other people love them? Because we stay in our comfort zone and we repeat old patterns. And if we were in relationships with people that weren't very loving and nurturing, that's out of our comfort zone. If we get people in our life who are loving and nurturing to us, but we could have always been a loving, nurturing person in those kind of unloving relationships or life, But we're used to being in relationships with people who are like that. That is our comfort zone. We know how to work with those kind of people. So that's when we have to do this work to love ourselves so that I'm not belittling and berating myself or whatever. And I can accept, and it also then challenges us to grow and heal more. If we're always viewed as like the loving person, it isn't challenging us to grow. We're continuing to try to change other people, and we are changing and growing in ways because we're being more patient. We keep trying to maybe change other people. But at what time do we think we deserve to be in a loving relationship? And it starts within us. So we get out of other relationships, we offer and make offers to other people in the world who we think are more on the same page as us. And as we're doing that, some of you are already in new relationships. Some people could have someone who sees the truth of you and they are going to make you an offer to get in a relationship. And because we live in a world of duality, you're always going to be given choice. And I think you're going to just listen to your intuition about different people who come towards you and that you meet, who seems to be similar to people I've gone out with before that had traits and characteristics I didn't like. You know, are you a shadowy person that a relationship ended and you're sad and heartbroken, but you're hiding that you still defend that person and still want to be in a relationship with that person and want that person to be heartbroken that you just came and got in a relationship with me, and you're trying to manipulate that person to get them to come back and get in a relationship with you? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's in that kind of energy. I want to be in a relationship with someone who's done defending that old relationship, who has seen the truth of it and have healed from it, basically, and have seen the truth. That they could have stayed in relationships with people who weren't loving for these same reasons. They could have had to do this healing work, but they're no longer defending. They're more about themselves nature or other people in their life. If they want to be in a relationship with me, they have to be truthful, they have to be loving, they have to be authentic, they have to be hopeful and believing in love, or I'm just going to enjoy my life with the people in my life and until I meet a person who is. So what's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy that they might not see coming up? A card not showing itself because of the Two of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles because of the Two of Swords. So I think that what people don't know about you, there's going to be some people who will approach you, but what they don't know about you is you have done this work. The Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit are both Virgo energy. You did this work within yourself. You might, to other people, like, seem, like this hopeful, believing, loving person. And some people could think you're naive and gullible, but they don't know that you've done this work. You're not as naive and gullible as you used to be, but you still have that hopeful, believing spirit. And there's going to be some people that think you haven't seen the truth about them or people like them, and that you haven't learned to listen to your intuition. But some of those people, yeah, you won't get in a relationship with them. They will maybe have the idea to come make you an offer and present themselves as a loving family person to you, and you're going, the Two of Swords can talk about listening to your intuition instead of your more worldly nature. Because in your worldly nature, I could be attracted to you. I could find you charming. I could find you attractive. There could be a lot of things in my worldly nature that would make me want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm going to listen to my intuition. And if my intuition says stop this relationship and do not move forward with them and stand up for your loving and protect your loving nature, because these people haven't healed, or they live more from their mind than their heart, they operate wearing a false mask, then you won't get in a relationship with them. So your philosophy of life isn't more about yourself, shadowy Aries being about the self. You're more about love and working cooperatively with people in love in a just and fair and authentic, loving way. And the only people who can come towards you are other people who aren't, their philosophy of life isn't more about themselves. Other people who have done this work within themselves, who have seen the truth, who have healed and grown and matured themselves in some of the same ways that you have. And you're going to listen to your intuition about who's trying to tempt me with things of the world and appeal to my more worldly nature, and who's offering me the truth. And there could be some people in your life that would like to be in a relationship with you, but if they're in a relationship, they're not willing to get out of that relationship, and they're still defending that relationship, even if that relationship could feel like they're missing an opportunity in love and they're heartbroken, you know, they're going to stay in it. Other people could want to be in a relationship with you, but they know and aren't making you an offer because they know the truth of who they are. You might not know the truth of who they are, but if you communicated in truth and love to someone your truth, well, they know the truth about you, but they also know the truth about them, which you might not know. And they know that they are still more about the world or themselves, kind of liking the scales tipped in their favor in a relationship and it being more about them or people indulging them some way or in their poor behavior. And they don't have that hopeful, believing spirit like you do. And they can't cross that barrier because they know you're intuitive and they know that you've learned these lessons in life. And so some people would like to be in a relationship with you and they're sad and they're heartbroken and feel like they missed an opportunity. But some of those people already kind of backstabbed and betrayed you. Got an alarm on my phone. Were defensive to love. And you already know that they have some of these issues that they don't want to deal with. Or you know they are people who are, I don't know, kind of immature, and you already know the truth about it. Okay, what's coming up for people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Cancer energy that they might not see coming up? The Star, the Queen of Pentacles, the Tower, the Four of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the reason is because of the Six of Cups. When people do kind of, at any time, at any stage of our life, people in our life can heal. And anybody right now who maybe hasn't been doing some of this work within themselves, who still kind of reject love, still being in heartbreak, still being defensive to love, maybe acting in some unkind, shadowy ways of being. Because sometimes people who are in these shadowy energies, they're in this energy and they don't want the people in their life to heal and grow and mature themselves, because then you're going to move forward in life differently and they kind of can't go to that next level of life unless they do this work within themselves. And there might be some things they don't want to see the truth of or deal with. So they could be kind of hurtful and unkind and unloving in a relationship to try to stop the other people from standing up for themselves and doing this work within themselves, to get them to focus back on them. Let's just focus. You quit healing and growing and maturing yourself and come back and do the relationship the way we've been doing it before. But there comes a time people can be in relationships with people, is what the Six of Cups talk about. People can emotionally invest in people trying to bring a dream into reality. But if they've been doing that and the other person they're in a relationship with in the Tower card refuses to quit repeating some old pattern that's unloving and hurtful and defensive, you know, eventually those people are like, if I keep staying in this relationship, I'm not going to have the loving, inspiring, authentic, victorious relationship that I want. And that's what the other people keep hoping. You let go of loving yourself and standing up for yourself. You should invest in making your life about me and the way we're living our life. And you should offer yourself love and be inspired to reconcile yourself with the past so that you can move forward in life. But eventually people just can't take it anymore. I have been offering you love and encouragement. I have been defending this relationship. I have been trying to get you to love and believe in yourself, to work through your own issues so those things quit manipulating you, so we can go do love. But if they keep not willing to do it, are we going to keep staying in a relationship where people are rejecting our love and being hurtful and unkind? You know, eventually people are going to stand up for themselves. And it's like, You go live your life the way you want to live it. And I'm going to go find people who want to do love. And the Six of Cups, it's kind of like they want you to stay in a relationship that is repeating this old pattern. And it can start to feel emotionally shallow and superficial. It could be more for the ego and the image. It could be just constantly trying to fill their cup of love, but they never take that love within themselves to heal. It's just like holding their cup out saying, fill my cup of love, fill my cup of love, but they poked holes in the bottom of their cup, so it all just runs out on the ground. And give me more, give me more. And that's also how some people could look at life. That's not my job to do that work within myself. You're supposed to love me. That's how I view relationships. You give, and I take. And it's like, what about you learning to love yourself? No, I kind of stay in this more, I indulge my more immature nature of self. People are supposed to want to be in a relationship with me and give to me. And I keep staying rejected and sad and heartbroken because of things that happened in my past. And I keep being defensive to love. But you're supposed to love me. Well, loving people want to be in a relationship with other people who've learned to love themselves. And some people did get out of these type of relationships or friendships or workplaces. Other people could just now be getting out of them. The high vibe people are moving forward in love. They're looking to the future in the King of Cups, taking mature action in their life, listening to their intuition, but keeping their heart open to people. If people heal, grow, change, mature, get out of their whatever it was that was manipulating them, hey, I wish you peace and love. Will I maybe get in a romantic relationship with you? Maybe not, but, happy that other people stood up for themselves. Some of the people I might be willing to get back in friendships and relationships with. I'm going to listen to my intuition, who seems to have really learned lessons in life. Another thing that the more shadowy people might not see coming, when we are repeating an old pattern of the past and we haven't learned to love ourselves and stand up for ourselves, we have some lessons to learn in life, right? And we're probably going to kind of invest emotionally more in these things of the world, in our ego, in our defensive nature. But we're probably getting in relationships with people who repeat some of those same patterns. And if we both haven't learned to love ourselves and grow and heal and mature, people get tired of repeating the same pattern. And eventually, it can blow up in our face because, and I think they could have someone who's willing to get in a relationship with them because they are also maybe more about defensiveness or ego or don't want to do love. Let's get in a relationship. We would look like we're shining stars in the world, that we have what other people have in the world. It's just that it's not a deep, meaningful relationship. And we both could feel like we're missing an opportunity in love, but neither one of us wants to deal with our issues. So if we're both willing to repeat this pattern where it is maybe more about indulging in these things of the world or ego and image and money and materialism, and it's maybe a more emotionally shallow and superficial relationship, we're both willing to stay in it because we're not willing to take that cup of love and be inspired to heal so that we can not stay in this type of relationship. And that's why some people that relationships you were in, that had been you at one time, standing up for this relationship, even though you kind of felt like it wasn't very loving and it could have seemed kind of emotionally shallow and superficial. And then that's when you kind of realize somebody wears a false mask and you didn't want to be in a relationship with them anymore. You did this work to see the truth. Why would I stay in this? Do I think I deserve love? Did I previously push away loving people because I wouldn't let other people love me? Because no, I need to love people that reject me. And then you saw the truth of it and you loved yourself, got out of your ego, did this work, stood up for yourself, I'm ready to be loving and let people love me. I don't want to repeat the same pattern. And there could be other people in the world that did want to be in a relationship with you, but you were defensive to them because you hadn't learned to love yourself. And when some of those people see that you've learned to love yourself and you're not investing in people that aren't loving to a degree, or more about ego and image or themselves or defensive, that's when those people will get in a relationship, when they know that is no longer your philosophy of life. And they see that you freed yourself and are going on this new beginning, and they want to go on that new beginning with you. So some of you could get in like the relationship of your dreams. And for some of these people in your life that thought you, because they could know you love them too, but they thought that you would, like they could manipulate your loving nature forever. And they see that that dream is over because you're investing in a new dream with people who aren't repeating those old patterns and who have taken that cup of love and inspired to do love. And that's who you're going to move forward with. And these people might end up, in a relationship with someone who is kind of on the same page as them. Again, they could come across in the world and they might like to play the emotionally nurturing role in people's life. And that's why loving people can be kind of drawn and attracted to them. You do seem to have a lot of commonality. They just don't like it when you heal and you are inspired to move forward in life differently or want a more just and fair relationship. Well, then they don't like that. I liked it better when you were heartbroken and didn't love yourself, because then I got to present myself as this loving, nurturing person, and that's how they like to view themselves. But they don't want to see the truth that if they get in relationships with people and those people do some healing work, then they backstab them or want to get out of the relationship with them because they like to play this role in people's life. But just like you like to play that role in people's life, but you did want people to heal and grow and mature themselves, but they didn't. And that's kind of the subtle difference. And that's why, it can be so confusing, because people that you see as like loving and nurturing and all that, they can be, unless you grow and heal and mature yourself and want to do life differently. Well, then they don't like it, because they like to be in relationships with people who are sad and heartbroken. Oh, let me be the loving, nurturing person in your life. And you keep staying heartbroken and sad, because then you view me as this loving, nurturing person. I get to view myself as a loving, nurturing person. I get to be like loving and nurturing to you. But it's only if you don't heal. Where the other high vibe people are exactly the opposite. I wanted you to heal, but you didn't heal. And when I did heal, then you didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. Because you don't really want to work through your own issues. It's like, I want to be the teacher and you're the student. I'm the parent, you're the child. I like this dynamic. If you heal, then we kind of get more on equal give and take. And I don't like that, because then as a relationship keeps progressing, they would have to do some inner work to keep moving forward with you. And they don't like that. I don't have, and it can be an ego thing, I don't have any lessons to learn. I am this type of person. This is how I like to live my life. This is how I view myself. And I don't want to have to deal with any of my issues to move forward in life differently. I'll go find someone else who's sad and heartbroken. But if they go get someone who's sad and heartbroken, but harnesses their Cancer energy in a more hopeful, believing spirit, like I hope we all heal and grow and mature during this relationship, the same thing's going to happen again. And for some of them, it is happening again. Viewing yourself as a loving, nurturing person means that you also have to get out of your ego to admit that you maybe have some lessons to learn and healing to do and things to let go of. And some people are like, no, I don't. I live my life this way. I can find other people. And if they keep getting people to have a more hopeful, believing, loving spirit, it's going to keep blowing up in their face because they keep repeating this past pattern. I want you to keep staying heartbroken and sad so you view me as this loving, nurturing person. If you start to love yourself and stand up for yourself and want maybe a more, because shadow would be an imbalanced relationship. If you get to where you want a more just and fair, equal give and take relationship, well, no, you're supposed to be the child and I'm supposed to be the parent. I'm the teacher, you're the student. I'm the boss, you're like the employee. And people don't want to be in those kind of relationships. That's not their idea of the dream relationship, but it could be these more people who like to play this role in people's life. That's their philosophy of life. That's their idea of the dream relationship. So there you go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.